Hello and welcome to So You Think You Can Dev, a KMS debrief on all things digital. Today, I am super excited to talk to Naveen Krishnan, an AI architect at Microsoft. Now, Naveen leverages cutting-edge technologies to solve real-world problems. He has a deep passion for artificial intelligence and cloud computing, and is bringing a ton of experience to the table. So I'm really excited to learn from Naveen. Welcome to the show.
Hey Eddie, welcome. So hi to y'all, and yeah, looking forward to see what you have got for me today.
Awesome. Now, Naveen, do you want to give a little bit of context on your background and how you came to Microsoft?
Yeah, sure, definitely. It's all started like 15, 16 years back in India. I started in a small startup company, and I'm a C# developer, and I stayed there for a year, and then I moved to small and medium business sector, and it was HOA services, and it's accounts payable process. I'm again a developer there, and I then moved to a consulting company, and then I moved here to US in 2015. And 2015, I started working with PepsiCo, and then I slowly moved on to Morgan Stanley, JPMC, Capital One, and Toyota. So designing for enterprise systems, enterprise solutions, and then I I got myself certified at cloud, and then that took me to Microsoft, and I joined Microsoft as a cloud solutions architect, and then slowly I got myself deep into AI, and this time within like last 1 year, it was like tremendous growth. Maybe I would say I started writing my own blogs. I started my one of my book is being getting published on AI, and I do podcast, and also I do a lot of research papers. So this is what I do now at Microsoft.
Yeah, so you are completely immersed in AI, and I'm sure at Microsoft you're seeing a lot of the newest trends that are developing. So I'd love to get your take on that. What's new in AI? What should the rest of us expect to see?
Yeah, so it's all started, like, for example, right? So AI is not something new. So this idea is all around since 1950, right? When Alan
Mhm.
Turing was finding something, and where we were lagging some infrastructure at that time. But as it evolved, and got a better storage, and we got NVIDIA VMs and things like that, so which is boosting the AI now. A lot of things which were not achievable that time, we are able to achieve it because of this development in infrastructure. So that's how I see it. But we started, right. So when we started, like maybe 1.5 years back, it all started with ChatGPT, where you ask it some question and then it answers you, and then we are all like very impressed, and slowly that took over, and then we infused AI chatbots into our application, and then we moved towards RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation, and then we stayed there for a while, and then we kind of know that if you ground my data and how AI is going to react, right? So then we did fine tuning on the top of it, and so things evolved, and finally we landed here. So that's agents. So agents for anything and everything, right? Be it a workflow or be it whatnot, right? So something what agents can do is we are more moving more towards autonomous, but at this time what agents can do to you is like it can automate tasks for you, and it just not from Q&A we move towards task automation, right? So if you have set of tasks and a group of things to be taken care at same time, then we introduced agent. So currently agent is more trending, and all developments happening around agents, like for example how MCP protocol can come in and then help you talk to different data sources, maybe, right? So that's one way of doing it. And then there is some A to A, like how agent to agent communicate. Those frameworks are getting built, and then so what the orchestrator itself, like which orchestrator you can use to run your agent successfully. So things are happening around that, but nothing. And also these services, right? The external services like text to speech, speech to text, having
Mhm.
avatars. So that's also getting developed on side by side, or that also getting evolved a lot side by side, which is more efficient than what we had last year. So this is how I see. These are the latest trends that's happening in AI, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you touched on a lot of things there. One is, the chat GPT, the large language models that I think everyone is familiar with from both a commercial and even just like a personal use standpoint. Agentic AI is such a big topic right now, and as you're describing, there's a lot that's being invested in development there. And I'm curious to see, what do you see as the biggest challenges on the road to agentic AI? I think we see challenges with systems integration, with the right protocols and data security, for example. Is that what you're seeing as well?
Yeah, so it's not limited to that, but only the very first thing what I see is knowledge about agents, right? Like what actually a agentic application is and what actually agentic. It's just not agent is not just zero shot or one shot prompts, right? So agent is something meant for tedious tasks. For example, I have 1,000-page document and how I can get something out of the document, what I actually need, right? Instead of going into several work, splitting those documents, doing all this, right? So how can I make it? That's one simple example. And apart from that, agents are growing better. So agents are not simple like what we think. So we are now we may get an agent library maybe where we will have set of agents for sales or sales agent or this agent, a calculator agent. Well, so many so and so, right? So these agents, they power your apps and they help you achieve something without even reinventing or doing a lot of things. And the agents itself can with the help of LLM backed agents, it can what you say, it can decide or it knows what to do next. So it can learn by itself. So there are a lot of its agent is something huge and big, and so whenever other thing what I see is we create that. So we design AI application these days, and then we will have a separate AI service or something which all our application can talk to. And at one point that's going to be too heavy, and it's very hard for you to break them into pieces. So what I would see is see AI from a AI or agents from a long-term perspective, right? Like how it if it evolves and how it's going to be, right? AI is going to be there in each and every piece of your application. So yeah, applications today, what you have is now going to be AI applications. Think from that perspective and then so plan accordingly. Whenever you design something for AI system, think broad and then see how and what pieces of your application AI can handle and then do it wise. So that's the second thing. And when coming to security and with Microsoft Tech Stack, and if you're on the Copilot or the Agent, Copilot Studio or the Agent Stack, so there are certain guardrails that's already put in place. For example, prompt filtering and so whatnot, right? So there are several guardrails put in place, but I would still recommend you to think how which data is can be exposed to what level, right? So think from that perspective, like application and database security is what you may need to focus on, and apart from that, everything comes with that bundle. So that's one thing, and yeah, so these are the things what you need to have on top of your mind when you design an agentic application.
Got it. And I think that you're touching on a lot of really interesting things. And where my mind goes is, say you're an organization that's working in a really regulated space, like fintech, for example. How do you approach building with AI, knowing that there are so many regulations, maybe even changing regulations that you have to account for? Especially if you're starting small to look at the big picture and the long term, what would you suggest for a company in the fintech space?
Yeah, so I have seen this not just with fintech, but also with healthcare and
Hmm.
where there are like where they handle with PAI data and things like that, right? So, what I would recommend is start with something small, which can be easily achievable and which can be pretty much you can be compliant about basically. So start with the data, which is, for example, you can start with creating some marketing content or things like that, or like something which is internal, right? Like how can you predict this stock market flow, or based on the previous information, what you can do, or you can implement something for a credit card fraud alert system, or so which kind of analyzes the time series data and kind of gives you something, right? So you start with something of this chart, and maybe as we evolve, and I think today we have a lot of HIPAA notices and complaints, and everything is all available already available for this set of models. And if you are using something on Microsoft Azure OpenAI model, then it has got something, some level of capabilities already inbuilt. So check through those documents and then see if it really fits for the particular use case, and then start developing on that. But the same level of resistance what we saw when cloud initially came out, right? The first one to experiment is retails and manufacturing. So it's then slowly evolved into fintechs, and then now healthcare is completely on cloud as well, right? So this is going to be the future. So it's going to come around, and it's going to make all your things compliant and easy for you to move towards this
Mhm.
era. So it's not something which is difficult or something which can't be possible.
Right. So if you're in an industry that historically lags behind on technical developments, you still need to be ready for this. You
Yeah.
can't just wait. It's going to come for you too.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you, Naveen. And what I would like to dive into a little bit more is using AI to create a competitive advantage or a competitive edge. I think we've touched on a couple of different use cases like automation of routine tasks, things that really get to operational efficiencies. What else are you seeing that's really changing the game or moving the needle in substantial ways with AI?
Yeah, so what I personally see it as, it's there, it's going to be there. It's already there in certain areas, but it's going to be there in each and every uh, 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 which and every things what we see in our day-to-day life, right? For example, after you wake up in the morning, if there is something AI that clearly tells you like how the day is going to be, right? It starts with that, and basically what next. If you go to somewhere, and then if you wanted to buy something, and then you get a, for example, I was ordering some Mother's Day gift for my wife, and my kid wanted. I gave application. I don't want to call it here, but I gave something to her, and then I asked her to choose what gift she wants, right? And she was able to pick a gift, and that she can see a 3D version of the gift, what she is going to see, and then print on the gift, and see the real gift, the virtual view of the gift, like how it's going to be when it's at home, right? So, and she is very happy, and what when she got that, and she was really impressed, like the way what she saw online is the one what she received. So that level of uh, that's the level of what I see right now. And apart from that, I was impressed with this Canva and other designer tools, right? Like how you can design your systems, or how you can make your, and one other thing like Insta shot or something, where you provide all your pictures, like 13, 15 pictures of you, and then it comes up with your passport size photo, and it's like mind blowing. So there are a lot of small scale AI implementations around. It's there around, but you can see a lot of things happening around more in the autonomous driving space, or whatnot, right? Like maybe early detection of frauds, and so it can help you in financial investments, like which is better for your investment need, and it can do some analysis on top of it. So these are the things. And for example, it all started with customer support, where you can get a better support, like instead of you waiting in a call for like around half an hour or 1 hour waiting for a support analyst to help you. So that had made life easy. So you can just talk, ask it any question, and then based on the knowledge source, it's going to get details for you. So we are at that level right now, but we are soon to see in each and every thing you do in your day-to-day life, you will see a embedded in it, be it edge solutions or whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the kind of overarching pattern is that the technical barrier in a lot of ways is being lowered, where non-technical people, either in their personal life or in business, can start to get the benefits of technology that may not have been previously accessible to them.
Correct.
Do you think that this is going to change the way that companies structure technical roles?
Yes. So I've heard a couple of my colleagues who are working in the digital projects of healthcare, manufacturing, and retail customers. So what I hear from them is, so the roles or the developer roles are more moving towards a business, so that the business can develop agents. They can configure agents with the help of prompts and then make the business far better, right? Instead of you wasting time and spending uh, uh, this many resources to develop this application. So those days have now gone, and then that is literally shifting to a low code, no code based solution. So where they can just integrate very quick and then go to market really fast. So that's one phase what I am seeing. There is a little bit of shift there, and apart from that, the way how you the way how your application reacts or impress the end businesses, sorry, end consumers or end clients, right? So I see some sophistication on that side as well. Like I have been doing this supply chain process for these many days, and with the help of AI in place, now I'm able to complete this set of tasks within certain things, right? So that I can see something trending on that side as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible what one person can do now, that you couldn't have done without a team 2 years ago.
Yes, that's possible. So I have literally seen few do already started doing or having that in their roadmap and then moving towards that direction. But that is going to be the future as well. So one have to do more with the power of AI. So,
hmm Now, Naveen, if you could give one piece of advice to businesses who are looking to integrate AI more deliberately, but just are not sure where to start, what would you advise them to do?
Yeah. First, what I would recommend is that depends on each and individual business. But how I see them is first start with a small solution. Don't just jump into agentic and then see what all you can automate end to end, right? So that's too difficult. So first have take your current business and then see which part of that is will be very quick to implement and then very uh, the level of accuracy or something which you have, right, which you set for AI, if that meets your current need or things like that. So once you set that or find that, first try to implement. If you have something like chatbot or something, a support thing, right? So just try to implement it. Make sure you restrict it to that, specific access, and then see, train it, use it, and then if you are getting that right level of output, then go to the next level of automating some set of tasks for your resources, right? For example, if my team is doing writing test scripts for this long, right? If my development team is doing this, and so then how can I use this model to write a test cases for me, write a test script for me, and then how can I leverage? So that's the next phase what I have seen. And thirdly, you are like slowly moving your application to a AI application. So that's where the third step comes in. And that's a very important and then the crucial step. There are a lot of analysis, design, broader thinking that needs to go on. So when you design a system for AI, think it as a futuristic application. Don't just limit yourself to agents or chats or something like that. So when you wanted to completely shift your application into AI application, that's the one thing what you really need to keep in mind. So develop for a future AI needs. So even if there is something like agent comes in future, so our solution or a design should be easily adaptable to something that's going to come. So yeah, that's what I see.
Awesome. No, I think that's great advice. And I think we are coming close to the top of the hour. So before we leave, I just want to ask, is there anything else that you would like our listeners to take away when it comes to effectively implementing AI or gaining more value from it, or even just maybe what to be concerned about, if there's something that you've seen that could be really useful, for the rest of us?
Yeah, sure. So as you invest in AI, also invest at least one third in security and things related, so that it will be So you can grow as a whole instead of living that piece, right, without knowing or without listening into that, without giving more attention to that, will cost you a lot at the end. So just focus on the security pieces as well as data pieces as well as your app pieces, so that go give a certain what you say uh, divide your task into this the three buckets and then focus more individually instead of seeing them as a holistic effect, holistic, what you say, holistic spend, right? Bucketize them and then plan for your new design or a new feature, a new AI feature. And apart from that, if you have any something that is something challenging or what you see here, try to see if you can contribute back to the open source community and then see if we can build something, right? So I have a supply chain challenge, which I am planning to mitigate with agents, then see if that can be widely used by someone else, right? So that's also one other thing which I would focus on more. And apart from that, yeah, so you can always go read my blogs, and I have my blogs on Medium. It's medium.com/AI with Naveen Krishnan. So there are a lot of blogs all about AI, and so you can read more about RAGs and best practices and good design patterns, right? And you can also read about latest happenings around AI, like MCP or A2A or anything. So just go through my blogs. And apart from that, there are a few research papers which I'll be publishing soon in my website as well. So link in my website. So it's naveenkrishnan.ai. So yeah, have look at that and then try to get the latest updates or latest happening in AI.
Awesome, thank you. And again, that's naveenkrishnan.ai. Please check out his website. I'm sure you will get even more incredible insights. This was a wonderful conversation. I think there's so much opportunity with AI and there's so much uncertainty, and hopefully this will help guide our listeners to the path that makes the most sense for them. Now, listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you again next week.